What's up, guys? My name is Sam. I'm the youngest performance shop owner in Austin, Texas right now. Got me into cars. I was sitting down one day and I was watching a video of a 1969 Mustang that had a 427 and it was getting dyno tuned. And the way it sounded was unlike anything I've ever heard before. It was the coolest sound I've ever heard in my entire life. And it went really fast too. That was like the first step of me getting into cars. So then my first car was a 2014 Chevy Silverado, which I then passed down to my little brother, and in return picked up a 1967 Mustang. It was blue, had inline six, and then just a little 4-speed transmission. I liked it, but it wasn't fast enough and it didn't sound like the one I heard at the videos. I was planning on swapping the motor over with a 302 V8 and going from there, but my grandpa had a yellow 1969 Mustang with the 302 in it, right? And he bought it in 1969 and it looked really cool, and I was like, man, I would love to have that car one day, but I know he'll never sell it to me. A couple months before my birthday in the summer, he called me down. He's like, hey Sam, we gotta talk about football. Like, I want to do something with your football career. And I was like, okay. So I drive down there and my parents come with me, which I thought was weird. I was sitting there and my grandpa had the Mustang pulled out and I was like, oh man, it looks so good. Like, I love the way it looks right now. I stepped out and I walked over to him. I was like, what's up? And he gave me the Mustang. He knew how much I loved it and how much I appreciated it. And it did need some work, so I was gonna have to fix it if I really wanted to drive it. So that's what I did. I told myself I was gonna fix it, I was gonna use it. I fixed it, drove it for a while. My dad got the blue Mustang, and then unfortunately it hailed and totaled the blue Mustang, so it's no longer with us. But the yellow Mustang, I'm still driving all the time. I used to work at a performance shop, and I love the performance shop world. It was really cool, like working at one. I don't work on cars for money, but you live on your own, and when you need to make money, just working for somebody in the performance shop world isn't gonna really cut it. Back in the day, you could work at a dealership and you can make pretty good money, but it's obviously changed nowadays. I have a C5 Corvette. I crashed it. Unfortunately, I took a U-turn. I was going down the road, I hit a pothole, and then I instantly flew over the median and crashed it. And what made me change my mind from working for somebody to becoming my own boss was I couldn't fix it. I didn't have the money to fix it. I hated that. I loved that car so much. I put a lot of time, effort, and money into it. I couldn't fix it. I didn't have the money to fix it. So what I did was I borrowed my dad's C4 Corvette for a month and a half. I went around and I was a mobile performance mechanic. That's where this whole SG performance thing started. Now, the way I started was, I can't really tell how I did my marketing because I'm finessing it a little bit, right? I'm bending the rules a little bit. It's nothing illegal, just bending rules on a certain app. And once I really get going, I'll show you guys how I did it. That's how I'm getting my customers and whatnot. I was doing that for about a month, had one of those little, the little 100-piece toolboxes. I would use those and I would go around and tune people's car, rebuild the engines, like top end rebuild, because I didn't have an engine stand or anything. Any tools I needed, just that little toolkit to make it work. And when I finished that, I got a call from my uncle's best friend named Brandon. He called me and he said, some of them need oil changes, transmission flushes, diff fluid changes, stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come do that. And when I did it, I noticed that he had a shop that he wasn't using. I was like, maybe this would be my opportunity. So I talked to him and I was like, hey, what if I did all of your maintenance on your vehicles for free? You just provide the parts and I'll do it for free. In return, I get to use that shop right there. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I pulled up here, got my little toolbox, got some tools in it, whatnot. You can see it right over there. I know the whole shop's messy right now. I don't have a big enough table for all the LS parts. I thought it was gonna be an amazing situation here, and it was working out great. I had cars pull up, I was doing little things like tweaking clutches and tuning carbs, distributors, just making them run good. Until I got a customer that said he wanted a motor swap. Boom, 1968 T-Bird. It had a 429 in it, and I don't know if you guys have seen one or felt one and how heavy it is. That thing was so heavy. And the hard part about this shop is that the ground is it's gravel. So if we come down here, you can see where I was dragging through. And all of that was covered in coolant and oil. I just let it hit the ground because I was like, oh, it'll soak into the ground and whatnot. Won't be that big of a deal. Well, when I pulled the motor and I had the motor hoisted up, getting ready to pull it back, the front two wheels and that engine stand right there just sunk down. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. It was so heavy. Got to be the only downside of this entire shop. Otherwise, I'd say it's pretty good. It's got electricity There's a light switch right there. Has 2 swinging doors here, 2 up in the front, and it's got relatively good amount of space. And this is what my setup is. So I have like 2 cars here, 1 here, another one there, and then I have another one right there. And that's just simple 350, and that one, pull it out, rebuild the motor. But it's like a night and day difference from owning your own shop compared to working for somebody. It is a lot like riskier, and everything falls on you. It's your name, your reputation, everything. You mess one thing up and that engine blows up when the customer's flying down the road, well, it's on you. Like if you work for a shop, it's not on the owner, it's on you because you own the shop, right? So that's the stressful part, and you get in your head. Like when I first started this, I was like, oh, I own my own business, blah, 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 blah. Like I could just go to work whenever I want. Like you have to continue and hold that like same pattern as if you're working for somebody else. Now it is pretty cool, but at the same time, it's like habits. Like you have to have really good habits. That's kind of my story on how I started this adventure. I wouldn't change it for the world. It's super fun. I love everything about it. I like the long hours sometimes. Struggle to hustle. Like that's something that you'll look back on and enjoy. I enjoy it. But yeah, it's just a little thing, seeing how far you can come. And me being the youngest performance shop owner in Austin, Texas is kind of crazy to me. I'll show you guys some of the stuff I'm doing real quick so you guys know I'm actually doing performance stuff here. Those are trick flow heads. That is a Demon carb MSD distributor back there, MSD 6AL box, MSD ignition. Little things like this billet, water pump, comes but like harmonic balancer. This power steering is really nice, and then all the amenities and whatnot, obviously clean those up, but it's got like cool 383 stroker valve covers. Don't worry guys, these plugs are gonna get cleaned up. I just had it here just to make sure that it would start good and run good, but here's all the little organizers for them to make them look nice. And then that bad boy, that's a Vortec V2 Pro charger. Now it's gonna mount up here, but I'm just having, if we look here, I'm having clearance problems on this bolt right here. So I gotta figure out a way to move it back a little bit to make it work. But yeah, this thing's really nice. It's really cool. It sounds insane. It's got long tube headers down there with cutouts. So it has like a little switch that you can use to go from extremely loud to muffled. Pretty freaking awesome if I do say so myself. It's got electric fans right here. And then I'll show you guys the interior of this bad boy. Sit down in it, sweet steering wheel. All these gauges here. Radiator, these are the radiator fans. Interior lights for the gauges and whatnot. Little 6-speed manual transmission. It's got a short throw on it. See that? It's really tight transmission. These right here are for the cutouts. Push that, it goes really loud. Push that one, really a lot quieter, not super quiet. And then little cup holder, and then really cool seats. That's probably the coolest part about this whole thing. Is the interior is insane. How SG Performance came to be so far. I'm excited. My goal is to move into my own shop one day. Concrete floors, you know, big shop, lighting, lifts, everything. It'd be pretty cool. And then maybe even a shop house one day. That's like kind of my dream house. That's how I came to be. That's an update, and that's what it's like being the youngest performance shop owner in Austin, Texas. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna show you guys a clip of the 72 Chevelle running. I got it all built, pro charger, everything. It sounds insane. So I'll just show you guys a video of that right now.